This is probably the best metalcore album of the year. Hi everyone, Benjamin here, you're watching Music Monday, welcome to the channel. And I know I am late to the party, but I didn't even care about the Devil Wears Prada like 3 weeks ago. But then I was browsing through Spotify, as I do, and I saw this album cover and I was really intrigued. This looked dark and moody and depressing, and that really gave me some interesting vibes, so I wanted to check it out and I was immediately blown away. Of course, I knew that Prada existed as a band, and though they have some good records and even some great songs, I never considered them a personal favorite or really at the forefront of their respective genre. And I do stand by that, even now having revisited their entire discography after hearing Color Decay. But Color Decay really is 2 to 3 steps above everything that they've ever done, and honestly everything that we've seen in metalcore this year. The years and years of both practice and constant experimentation have clearly influenced them into making this record. It really feels like everything that they've done up to this point in their career has led to this one point that is Color Decay. This album really mixes the heaviness with the melody in a perfect way, not only in the track listing, but also if you look at the songs, they have the balance within each song. The guitars and the synths on this album have a symbiosis that not a lot of bands have pulled off this well. I can only think of a few examples off the top of my head, and that really adds to the harmony that we also have between the two vocalists. They can give you chills and mosh pit energy, sometimes even at the same time, the whole range. Drums are often overlooked in an album that is as brachial as this, but Giuseppe really shines through with some amazing fills, but mostly just as an amazing support for the guitars that really do most of the work here, but most of the good work. Lyrically, this is the most mature album that Prada have ever written, even if there is the occasional kinda cheesy, kinda cliché line that you would expect more of a band like. That does not always fit in, but 90% of the lyrics are hard-hitting and just feel very honest, open and kind of raw. This album in general is very depressing and dark in its themes, and there's really never a moment in which that does not apply, and there's really never a moment where you can kind of breathe, which makes it so much more atmospheric if you listen to it from front to back. Especially as you have the back half of the album loaded with hidden gems like 25, Hallucinate and Cancer. They're all incredible, which doesn't make the front half of the album any less good. That's still amazing. There's really no part of that album that I would consider weak. You really have just goodness all around. The themes on here are raw and emotional, ranging from suicide, self-harm, mental health issues, all the way to breakups and feelings of betrayal. The most challenging song on here is definitely the closer. It will make people feel uncomfortable, and I have to be honest, if I didn't know that this was an exploration and critical dissection of one's own thoughts, I also wouldn't know how to feel about this one. The song has this, by now almost infamous chorus line that goes, "I hope that it's cancer," which of course can be terribly offensive for a lot of people, and I totally understand that, but if you go and look at what their keyboardist Jonathan had in mind when writing this, finding out that a hero of yours died and hoping that it wasn't due to suicide or addiction or other mental health struggles, but having this weird hope that he can't really explain, of thinking, I hope that he at least died of an illness and not another mental health struggle because I am too overburdened with mental health myself, I can kind of see where he's coming from. But even if you know that, the song still rattles you, makes you stop for a second and really think about what you just heard. And in the end, isn't that what art is all about? Making you think and kind of also making you uncomfortable at times. So I really get that song now, but I have to admit that when I heard it for the first time, I was low-key uncomfortable with it. Color Decay is an album that combines emo, metalcore, alternative rock, and even some poppy melodies on here with incredibly dark subject matter that really hits hard. It's quite the achievement for the Devil Wears Prada, and undoubtedly will make it on the top of the lists of a lot of metal fans for Album of the Year. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. I really enjoyed this project. My personal favorite songs are in the description down below, and while you scroll down there and look for them, why don't just press one of the many buttons you see there, like the like button, the subscribe button and the report button. Wait, what?